Hey, what's up guys, it's XX Modern Warfare here, Gamertab Banjo Chicken, and welcome back to another hardware tutorials episode. So in this episode we're going to be covering LED strip mods. Now this is actually going to be from scratch. Okay, this is not a basic tutorial on, you know, just buying the pre-done ones. You can buy them pre-made for you on eBay, where you get two strips, one for the left side, one for the right side, and it comes with a DVD drive power cable like this, but it has extra wires running off that which run to the LED strips, and it's a lot simpler, and I understand that. So you're probably thinking, well, why show us how to do it from scratch when it's a lot more complicated? Well, the simple fact is, if you buy them from eBay, you only get a certain amount of colors, whereas if you just buy the actual strips themselves, you can get them in pretty much any color you want, even multicolor. Not only that, but the ones you buy are only two strips for going on the right side and the left side, whereas with just buying the strips themselves, you can cut them off every 3 LEDs so that you can put them wherever you want. You know, you can put them down the sides of the fan duct, or down here, anywhere on the DVD drive even. You can just go crazy with it if you want to. It doesn't just have to be on the left and right. And it works out cheaper if you're doing a bunch of consoles. You know, if you might be a seller or someone who modifies consoles, then rather than buying those for £5, you just buy the LEDs themselves in bulk, buy them in bulk, and you can do multiple consoles, and it works out cheaper in the long run. So that's the reason. And basically, to start off with, guys, you've got two options really for powering the LEDs, where you're going to power them from. Now this method's the one I don't particularly like, but you can use it if you want. If you take the DVD drive power cable and you take the bottom right cable, and what you have to do is take a knife and scrape away at that until you've got the wire exposed, the metal of the wire exposed, and from there you can take your power wire for the LED strips and attach it to that wire, solder it on, and then you can take the ground wire for the LED strips and just attach it somewhere on the case, and that will give you your power for your LED lights. Now I don't particularly like that method, simply because it's a bit awkward to do, try to solder a wire onto the DVD drive power cable, and because, you know, you'll have wires running along the top of here. If you've got a window mod, it won't look too good. But so my suggestion is to use the back of the motherboard. Underneath the power supply there are 2 points that you can solder to the wires to, so that you can get power for the LED strips, and that's the method that we're going to be using in this tutorial. So first of all, what we're going to do, obviously take the DVD drive out, just unplug the cables, and also unplug the cables from the motherboard as well. Take the fan duct off, unplug the fans. I've got Talisman Whisper fans on here, so also good if you've got a window mod to have these. They go pretty well with the LED strips too. However, these ones are green and my LED strips are blue, so we'll see how that looks. You're also going to want to take out the screws on the RF board. Take that off. Once the screws are out, you can just pull that off. Okay, so next you want to go around to the back of the motherboard and undo absolutely every single screw. Take all the screws out. And then to take the motherboard out itself, what I do is I pull up on these two memory card slots and pull it out that way. And you've got the back of the motherboard like that. So what we're going to do here, first of all, is measure out how much of the LED strips that we want. So let's take this one first. So I can tell right away that about there should do. So you can cut them off on these black dots. There is the points where you can use to cut them, and that's us got our strip number 1, and we'll go for strip number 2 now. See how long that's going to be. Say about there. So I'm going to cut that bit off. So I've got my 2 LED strips now that are going to go on the sides here. They've basically got a little sticky bit on the back. You just peel off and they can stick on. You don't need to glue them on or anything like that. So next we've got to get our wires. Now my experience, they do not come with wires themselves, so I bought these wires off eBay. They were just called something like broadband cable wires or something like that they were called. I might link them in the description. Just basically spare wire. So you kind of, if you have the correct color code wires, then that's good. It doesn't really matter, I guess, but black and red, because black is ground and red is power, or black and brown for power as well, or maybe even green for ground as well. So black or green for ground, let's say, and red and brown for power. Okay guys, so next we're gonna have to go ahead and get rid of the tubing on the wires. So go ahead and do that, so we've got some metal showing up that we can use to solder onto the points. So we've got that there. What to do, don't put too much, just a little bit. So I'll just go ahead and do the other ones and I'll be back with you. So this is our power connector where our power supply plugs in. Okay guys, so now we're going to have to solder the wires on now. This is not always as simple as it seems, because these points can be kind of hard for the solder to melt properly on these points, and hard to attach wires. So definitely use flux, a lot of it if necessary, because that should help quite a bit. And once you have done that, we'll try just attaching the wires first of all. Now please remember which direction they're going to go in. So this is the small wire, so it's going to be pointing in that direction because it's going to curl up towards the LED strips, and the longer wires are going to be pointing the other way, to go all the way to the other side of the motherboard. So let's start just now, try and do this without adding any extra solder, but we'll probably end up having to add extra solder, no doubt. It's just usually how this goes. So right away that is not taking, so we're gonna have to use some extra solder. We're gonna have to do a bit of a blob. It's gonna be pretty messy, I'm afraid. As you can see there, that is pretty damn messy, but it is really awkward to get the solder to take or get the wires on with these points like this. So let's try now. And it looks horrible right now, I know, but please bear in mind we're going to be cleaning all that off once we're done. So that's that wire attached right there. And we're going to go and grab the other one right now and attach that as well to the other side. Yeah, that's better like that. So we've got that side. Make sure the solder is not touching any of the other points around about it, because that's going to cause some serious problems if that happened. But it looks fine on that side. So I'm going to have to add some more solder to the next point for the red wires as well on here. So just add some. Really doesn't want to take at all on these joints, which is awkward, but it just means I end up making a mess of it, but it can't really be helped. Alright guys, so that's on right now, looking a bit messy, so bear with me. Okay guys, so I've got some isopropyl alcohol that I'm just going to rub on here to sort of try and clean it up a little bit, because I know it's a disaster on that, the black one, as you can see. But I must stress that it is pretty awkward on these points because of the fact the existing solder that's already on it just will not allow you to attach the wires properly. It won't melt properly, and the extra solder that you try and add just doesn't seem to want to melt into the existing solder. And so basically what we'll do with this one, or these ones, is we'll extend them over here and they'll tuck under the motherboard there, and we'll do the same with the black wire as well. That's going to go run along the bottom of the board and just curled up at the end. And what I'll do is, you can use hot glue, would be the best thing, I guess. You could use some hot glue to secure them to the motherboard, at the back of the motherboard. Make sure there's no wires going over a screw hole like that, because that would be awkward, because you go and try and screw your screws to put the motherboard back in and you're going to damage the wire. So you could use hot glue to stick it down, or you use a bit of electrical tape and that'll secure that on place. So now I will pop that back in the motherboard and we'll continue from there. Okay guys, it turns out I screwed up a little bit. I put them on, I soldered the power wire to the wrong place. Now it's kind of weird because that's the place I used on the Xenon console and it worked fine. So these 3 points in the middle here are your 12 volt. And with the Xenon console, which was a previous console I'd done before this one, it was that one there for power and that one there for ground. But for the, well, this is a Jasper console I'm on now, and when I was doing that one the lights weren't turning on, but attaching it to this one seemed to have worked. So try either that one, number 6 there, or I don't know what number this one is, but this one here seems to be good. It seems to work fine when it's attached to that one. So put the power wire to this one here, which is the one on the right here on this middle row, and you can attach the ground wire to that one there. So we've got our motherboard back in now. So what I just wanted to quickly tell you guys is that if the wires you're using are too thick, then your motherboard will crush it when you put the screws in, which is not good. You may have problems with it not turning on and stuff like that. So that's why I put up a little message earlier on in the video saying try and buy as thin wires as you possibly can, get the thinnest wires possible. The wires I've got are slightly thick, so just to be safe, for these long ones that go to the other side, I've taken it up here where the fan duct is, so they come up here and then they go along. But if your wires are thin enough, then just run them underneath the motherboard like I just showed you before. They're still not noticeable with the window mod, because you can just stick your fan duct on and place that down. Yeah, you place it down like that, you can't really see them, and with the DVD drive on the top you won't be able to see really those either. So Now that that is back in the casing, we can get to work on the actual LED strips themselves. So what we've got here now, this particular LED strip I've got here is waterproof. I didn't realize it at the time. It wasn't advertised as waterproof LED strips, because obviously I don't need waterproof LED strips, but it means it's got this kind of layer of gel on the top, which is not needed. Okay, so I've got the gel off on the first little bits here. So these two black dots need to be scraped off, because underneath there will be copper that you can use to solder. So there's still a bit of gel on there, that's annoying. Get that off. Okay guys, so as you can see there, we've taken off the little gel on the black sort of paper that covers it, and we've got the two little copper points exposed. So I'm just going to add some flux on there, and we're going to add some solder as well to the points. So this would be handy if it was on the ground there, but never mind. Okay, so we got some solder on those 2 points now, so we can now go ahead and attempt to attach the wires. Okay guys, so we have finally got that done, and got it there with the little points that we soldered. So I'm just going to try and attach this to the case now. Go right along. So see, maybe put it down a little bit, don't want it too high up, because we want to make sure the case still fits on. So I've got that attached. Sorry if you couldn't really see that there, but that's them on. Alright guys, so I'm just going to arrange these. Now it's hard to tell which wire goes on which point. So really your way to test is just solder them in whichever way you feel at random. So I'm going to put the ground wire on the top and then the live wire on the bottom, and if that's not correct then I turn it on, the lights don't light up, and I know that I've done it the wrong way around, so we just swap it back round again and it should work, and if you're lucky it'll work the first time. So I'm going to get a pair of tweezers and my soldering iron out to get these wires attached. Now you may argue and say, yeah, you should have done this at the start, but to get the wire length correct, I do it like this. So yeah, just attach. Apologies if you can't see this right now. I couldn't get the camera angle in a particularly good spot. But, if you can see, that is them attached. So let's go ahead and spin it around and do the next one. And that's that one attached as well, so we're just going to go ahead and hook it up and see. Alright guys, moment of truth now. So what we do is we just see if I can turn this over a little bit and plug this in. So it's plugged in there, and we'll just turn it on, and there we go, LEDs all working. So it looks pretty nice. I'll show you it with a normal case on, and then I'll show you it with a window mod on. The cables are out of the way, you know, there's no cables running over the top of the motherboard because it's all underneath, going to the coming up under here. I've put some electrical tape around where the wires are soldered so that you know, it doesn't make contact, the wires don't make contact with the case on the outside. This console normally has a tendency not to switch off, but let's go ahead and put a normal case on, so you'll see what that's like. So here's a normal Xbox 360 case. We'll slap that on there and turn it on again. So I'll plug this back in and slap it on. So you can see there you've got the LEDs shining through it. This is during the day as well, so obviously they don't stand out as much during the day, but and because of the angle of the camera, I guess. But you can see there the LEDs are coming through these holes in the board, which is pretty nice. So let's go ahead and slap a window mod on there as well. I'll show you what that looks like. Slap that on. We've got our window mod. We hook up the power. I'm not getting in the way there. Turn that on. It's looking much nicer. I've really seen a lot brighter. In fact, the fans at the back, it's the blue is so powerful it's almost hard to see the green fans at the back. They almost look blue at the back because of that so much blue LED light coming through. So so that is basically the end of the video, guys. So like, subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and I guess I will see you guys in my next video.